Shalom, hi, I'm Yonatan Netanyahu, but you can call me Yoni. I was born on March 13th, 1946, right here in New York City. At the time, my parents, Ben Sion and Sila, were working for the creation of a Jewish state on behalf of the new Zionist organization. Shortly after I turned 2, my parents returned to their homeland, now the newly created Medinat Israel. Growing up, I was a brilliant student. You name it, I used to say, rocked it. Academics, sports, akol. I was also a very active troop leader in the Scouts. In June 1964, following my graduation, just like everyone, I was drafted into Israeli Defense Force, where I volunteered for paratroopers, Tzanchanim. I proved to be a superb leader, undergoing the grueling training with relative ease and excelling in all the various courses. I was sent to officers' training school, where I graduated first in my class and went on to become a platoon commander in Tzanchanim. With the growing escalation of terrorist attacks from across Israel's borders, I soon saw action in a retaliatory raid on a PLO stronghold in West Bank, which was then held by Jordan. But in May 1967, forbidding events unfolded in the Middle East like never before. The Arab world openly declared its intention to annihilate the state of Israel. War was imminent, and I, along with numerous other reservists, was mobilized. When war finally broke out on June 5th, I took part in the fierce and pivotal battle of Katef at the Sinai. A few days later, I participated in battles defending the Golan Heights. On the last day of war, I was wounded in my arm while reaching out to help a wounded comrade. I managed to crawl back to Israeli lines where I fainted. Even though they operated, my left elbow remained permanently disabled. That's the bad news. The good news is that I was alive. We secured our borders and our land like never before. And even more wonderful was the news in the Psalms of Har HaBayit B'Yadenu. The Temple Mount was finally, after so many generations of yearning, in our hands. The 6-day war was over. Both my brothers, by then, returned to Israel. And Bibi, you know Bibi, yes? I'd become a veteran soldier in Israel's elite commando unit, Sayeret Matkal. I applied for the same unit. I was accepted immediately and assumed command of a squad. My abilities and potential were soon recognized by commander of Sayeret, and in summer of 1972, I was promoted to deputy commander of Sayeret Matkal. In July 1975, I became commander of Sayeret Matkal. During my year of commander, I was in charge of many operations. On July 1st, I was given a new mission, a rescue mission that was to be called Operation Thunderbolt and would take place in Uganda, in Entebbe. On June 27th, an Air France airliner whose flight originated in Israel was hijacked over Europe by Arab and German gunmen in Entebbe, landed in Entebbe, where Ugandan President Idi Amin was waiting for terrorists and received them with open arms. The hostages were kept captive in Old Terminal of Entebbe International Airport by terrorists and by a contingent of Ugandan soldiers. The terrorists warned that if their demands to release from jail more than 50 horrific terrorists were not met, the hostages would be killed. My unit's job was to take over Old Terminal Complex, namely to kill terrorists, free hostages, fight Ugandan soldiers stationed there, and prevent any Ugandan reinforcements from reaching the area while hostages and other troops were being thrown out. I quickly sat down with a few of my officers and drew up a plan. The Israeli force of 4 Hercules transport planes took off from Sharm el-Sheikh at the southern tip of Midbar Sinai, heading for Africa. The Sayeret Matkal, my unit, was flown in 3 of these planes, with the lead plane carrying myself and my initial assault party of 29 men. At the stroke of midnight Ugandan time on July 4th, 1976, the first plane landed at Entebbe Airport. My men and I, driving a Mercedes and 2 Land Rovers, meant to simulate Ugandan forces, proceeded to Old Terminal, where hostages were killed. Or held. They'd been killed. Would have been chaval for us, eh? But contact was soon made with Ugandan soldiers. A brief battle developed with Ugandans and terrorists, following which the terrorists in the building were killed and hostages were freed. Our mission was a success. During the battle, I was hit in the chest. The pain from the gun wound was unbearable. The same way it hurts to have a terrorist in your home. Believe me, it hurts to have a bullet in your chest. I remember just lying there, hoping to regain my strength. Hoping.
The efforts of the medical team to revive Yoni were to no avail, and he died at the entrance to the evacuation plane as the hostages were being herded inside. Yoni was the only man of the rescue force to die. 3 out of 106 hostages were killed during the exchange of fire, and a 4th was later murdered by Idi Amin's men. Yoni was buried on Mount Herzl alongside the grave of David Elazar, chief of staff during the Yom Kippur War. Thousands attended his funeral. His name, until then virtually unknown beyond the army, became famous throughout Israel overnight. His deeds, thoughts, and reflections, brought to light in his posthumous and best-selling book of letters, remain a source of inspiration for many in his country and around the world.